Chapter 6. Case sharing him! Wearing heavy leather boots that could knock out at least 13 teeth with a single kick had a blast of a night. That is until this moment, because his glass was empty now. He ran his elegant hand through his slick hair to put it back behind his ears, and when he got on his knees in front of the upside-down wooden cross before him that he had tied a man to, dizzy and sleepy with a face already sea-slug blue, he felt happy.
Here, doggy, doggy. Doggies.
He called his 3 expensively bred Dobermans with peculiar red eyes. Then he grabbed the titanium knife before him, squeezing it tight in his hand.
You know,
he looked at the begging eyes of the victim, with tears running down from his temples and dripping on the cooling concrete floor.
I usually prefer girls over boys, but it is alright if I feel sad, and I do feel sad tonight.
The victim only wanted the nightmare to end. He hoped to wake up in his bed the next morning, but he knew he wouldn't. And the very thought made him shiver as more tears flowed. Like a crying Jesus, he was tied to the cross with no God in sight or mind. He spared him the nails, but did not spare him from the sharp blade piercing his skin. The barbaric gentleman held his fine glass to the dying lamb's neck after putting the bloody dagger on the ground. Gray eyes gazed at the wound. Satisfaction remedied his heart, and violent synth metal played in his auditory cortex cyber implants. One of the dogs tried to lick the blood of the blade.
No, bad dog.
He stood up, holding his grail and dagger, and took a sip of warm blood while observing his dogs licking the floor and the neck of the martyr who had been carried away by angels. Mr. Chironim added cold wine to his warm blood and danced in his lonely bliss. His needle-like fangs tingled and prickled. If only it was a girl he was having tonight, he thought, he would have gotten on his knees once more to suck her blood right out of her sweet neck, his tongue penetrating the cut, licking it, playing with it erotically. But tonight he had not, for he did not fancy the sweat and fear of a boy on his lips. The Gothic mansion shone under the dark moon. The wind whistled the thunderstorm song. Behind the dirty windows and tall walls, Ki put one leg behind another to arrive at the swimming pool covered in light and brown marmor with the ceiling painted in devils and demons, ripping people to pieces as they were surrounded by raging flames seizing their frightened souls. He undressed his tall, muscular body and downed the glass. He jumped headfirst in the water. The liquid turned black and boiled in his cybernetic visual cortex as he gilded close to the bottom of the pool just like a bird in the sky. He had written the visual cortex manipulation program. He was running himself to be able to swim in 1,000 different waters. All he had to do was to bring the feeling of his destination and the lust for swimming. He got out of the pool and stood before the pool naked and wet, staring at all the black. The rich child had grown into a vile man. If it wasn't for the warmth of the blood and wine, he would be cold. He spent the rest of the night in his library, studying books and data about mesmerism. Biochemistry had not answered the secrets of life yet, and Ki sought ideas of a parallel world invisible to human perception.